Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log. Subdates 220930.1. Okay, we've worked out the nature of this storm. It has a Napoleon complex and has very little actual substance to it. So we're going to polarize the hull and hurl chicken sushi at it. I hear that solves all the world's problems. Hello everyone, welcome to This Week at Twitter, or twat. Today we're going to start with AJ Lee trending on Twitter. AJ Lee was a Divas champion 3-time for the WWE quite a while ago, before they had their alleged women's revolution. Much like her husband, she had a promo that towards the end of her time in the WWE really did lay into the fact that many of the WWE female wrestlers were more interested in reality television, slutting it up, than they were about the product, the brand, or being a professional wrestler, which was in and of itself a twofold dig at those ladies who were in those reality shows, but also at the WWE for still not quite, so Vince McMahon mostly before he resigned earlier this year, not quite grasping that women should be treated as equals to that of the men, at least given the chance to. There have been spots here or there, and it's still kinda getting there slowly, but it hasn't quite reached the level where it could go. Other promotions have done a better job. AJ Lee though was trending this time because of Mickie James, who had retweeted John Canton, who had tweeted, WWE Divas title should return, says former star. Now I think the belt looks beautiful, but fobs the female wrestlers off as Barbies. And I think that's where the delegitimizing of the women comes into effect. I prefer its predecessor, the women's title. I think it's a classic look. It looked nice. Looked fake as Fook and like it was made of plastic, but so does the Divas title that looks like it belongs on a Barbie. Mickie James have retweeted, personally I prefer the OG Women's Championship. Nothing is prettier. The women who held that championship were legends, icons, history makers, game changers, ceiling breakers, today's road pavers. This one, not so much. One of the, arguably most notable names to hold that title was AJ Lee. You could have Paige as well if you want. Her career was obviously cut short, now in AEW, but AJ Lee was the most noteworthy, and arguably brought a level of legitimacy to it with one of the longest reigns of that title. Beth Phoenix as well if you want, but her career was also kinda cut short. I guess the issue really is, if you only associate the belt with the champion, you forget that it's the champion that makes the belt. A mantra that is used by certain governing bodies within boxing. I believe the IBA is one of the more notable. It is a minor title, I know, but it is a mantra they espouse, and I couldn't agree with it more. You could have the most prestigious title on the planet, but you could be fighting bums. That belt's value goes down. If you hold one of the most worthless titles, but fight the absolute best, chances are you are going to elevate that title. And it could be applied here as well. One of the few people who had a longer reign than AJ Lee in one go was one of the Bellas, but who it was she competed against was nowhere near as impressive as that of AJ Lee. And again here, AJ set a standard that then had to be emulated, had to be improved upon, and then this belt had to go the way of the dinosaurs to make way for it. So understandably, many people disagree with Mickie James on this, but they disagree because of who she's ignoring as having existed during the time of this belt's existence. But again, that belt does look like absolute crap, and was solely done as a marketing ploy for kids to buy. Congratulations. While we're in the ballpark of wrestling, we're going to talk about the fact that Teddy Long was also trending on Twitter. The reason he was trending on Twitter was because, well, holla, I guess, if you've been blocked by Teddy Long. You see, he had gone, allegedly, on a bit of a block spree, which ended with many people, fans, supporters, wrestlers, peers, managers within the business all ending up getting blocked by Teddy Long. If you don't know who he is, he was the general manager on SmackDown more notably, and the one thing he was mean to high heaven for was constantly saying you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker. Constantly. It was all he ever said, player. After some time had passed, Teddy Long's Twitter account had become protected, so you've got to be approved as a follower to see his mad spits, lyrics, takes, hot things, whatever, all that blasé bollocks? Well, because of the blockings on Pro Wrestling Tees, Teddy Long has a new shirt. You got blocked, player. I'm not going to deny, if it wasn't for the fact I have a vast amount of t-shirts that I really should wear, mostly music related, I'd be half tempted to get one because I think it's quite funny. The fact he's embraced a meme very quickly and Pro Wrestling Tees has pounced on this to give him, a little extra income because he has been released by the WWE. He doesn't really do much in the wrestling business these days. As an update though, and I did do some digging, it turns out, according to Teddy Long, his account was hacked. And to prove the point, in a statement he had given to Busted Open Radio, he spoke about how he got yeeted off of Instagram for something very similar and he never went back. Because his wife had recently passed, and of course, I'm very sorry for your loss, Mr. Long, many have believed that perhaps it was because a more emotional response came about on Twitter and you just decided to shut everyone out, which actually would make sense. But also, Teddy Long is 75 years old. I doubt he uses a high-tech, super advanced password like 1234 or two-factor authentication, which is an option many can use. There is something quite amusing though about Teddy Long having a new t-shirt to commemorate the blocking spree of a lifetime, akin to that of Steve Shives or Keffels, the Coward, and that is that Teddy Long is renowned for being cheap. Well, now he doesn't really have to worry about that too much if people start to buy those shirts. He still do his appearances, he'll still go on radio shows, he can sleep in his own bed never having to worry about taking a bump ever again, and he can make a pretty penny on the side from some rather, asinine controversy. Player. As I've alluded to Keffels, we should now talk about a Keemstar tweet that led to Keffels replying, then to Keffels deleting, then to Keffels apologizing. Keemstar, at Salvo Pancakes, why are you hanging with Keffels? There are two people behind Salvo. The person on the left is who he is referring to. That is OmniJalen's. Response though from Keffels, saying I look like Jaden just because we are both trans is like if I were to say every racist pedophile looks just like you. This tweet has been deleted. Keem had used the image of that tweet because it was deleted by Keffels with, "Did Keffels use your dead name? Yikes." Edwin, well, if there's one positive to come out of this situation is Keffels helping Keem understand that dead naming is wrong. Strange she had to use Jalen as the learning lesson though. And also, Keffels had blocked OmniJalen's. Yeah, that was big brave. We know this because of Edwin, again, weaponized, dead named and blocked. Not a good day for inclusivity. There was a statement from OmniJalen's indicating that Keffels had reached out and apologized via DMs. However, the account of OmniJalen's has been suspended, so we don't really get to see much more beyond that. The part of this that makes it quite fascinating and amusing is the fact that Keffels has accused others of dead naming her. It happens all the time on forums and on Twitter. We won't do that here because we're above that shit. Which is somewhat ironic for somebody who, if they have your information, they'll use the information and not the name you use online. Say, for example, you have a pseudonym. Apparently, you're a demon and your true name must be known. Alright. I wanted to highlight this because dead naming is a dick move. I do think in this instance, it was an accident, but Keffels is known for using rather shitty tactics. We know this because of the whole Kiwi Farms debacle. Seriously. As we're sticking with things that trending, we should now address the fact that a singer in the United Kingdom called Ian Brown was trending for all the wrong reasons. Ian Brown is more notable for his solo work as a musician, but also his work with the Stone Roses. They released like 2 albums, and didn't really need to do anything else beyond that. For his recent sold-out UK tour, Ian Brown has decided he does not want a band performing with him. The problem is, many can agree here, Ian Brown at the best of times doesn't have the stage presence. So when he does live shows, without that band, that energy you get from other people playing guitar, bass, drums, even the keyboard, a maraca maybe if you're that person, it's quite dull. Ian Brown was trending because he had backing tracks play all his music and it was just him on stage. It looks like karaoke. And that is the problem many people had. For example, IR Mole. Gutted to see Ian Brown turn up to his £40 a ticket sold out gig at Leeds tonight with no band. I'm a lifelong fan, but it was bad. #Ian Brown. Does karaoke and butchers his own tunes. Most were too pissed to care, but I had to get out after this one. Long Sight M13 was a highlight. Feel a bit bad about this now, I was just so disappointed. We all know Ian can't sing, but there's always a band to bring it together. Some onstage chemistry, the drummer's energy, the guitarist's musicianship. I think if there's no band, you should tell everyone up front. In this instance, at other shows, people had actually walked out. If you're charging up to £50 a pop for a ticket to sing your solo tunes over a backing track, and you still manage to get your own words wrong, you are a karaoke singer. But also, while you are touring a solo tour, most people know you not for your solo work that did reasonably well, but for your work with the Stone Roses, and either people didn't stick around long enough for you to sing it, or you didn't sing it at all. The only upside to all of this really for Ian Brown is he's now got a mixed bag response with regards to his future performances, where he started to get some praise and some criticism while still employing a backing track, because he's being a bit more punctual after all the criticism, and because he knows his lines. Yay! Although I think we can all agree you're supposed to have known those before you even went out on stage. Do you not rehearse?